Hello everyone and welcome to This Week in Friars Hockey. I'm Nick Rojas. The Friars had a tough game against the Holy Cross Crusaders Friday night, unfortunately dropping one in overtime. They now look to get back in the win column this weekend when they head to upstate New York to take on St. Lawrence and Clarkson. On today's edition of the show, we are joined by Coach Leaman as he recaps this past weekend and looks ahead to the team's first road trip of the season. This Week in Friars Hockey starts right now. We're joined now, as we are every week, with the head coach of the men's ice hockey team, Coach Leaman. Coach, obviously a frustrating loss Friday night, but now that you've had a few days to digest it, what have you taken away from the game?
Still pretty frustrated about it. Frustrated about our whole weekend. I don't think we, I think we got a little ahead of ourselves after that first game, and we just didn't play good hockey this weekend. We had guys trying to do way too much and didn't really play it to our identity and didn't play as a team. So, just trying to get our team back and working and playing as a group.
And Saturday night was an exhibition game. You got a few more guys into the lineup, including the guys in net. What were some of your goals going into that game Saturday?
The big goal is just get a look at some guys that hadn't seen a game yet. We had 7 guys in the game that hadn't played a college game. So, get those guys some looks. And then, to be honest, when it got down to the third period, I started to play maybe a little bit more of our regulars down the stretch there, just because I thought it was important that the team get a win and end the weekend with a win, even though we weren't playing real well. And I thought, we started to take the game over then, so that was good. But, it was good conditioning for us. It was good to see some of the guys in a game like Garrett Devine and Caleb Rule, some guys that do some good things in practice, but you don't know if it's going to translate to a game yet. So you're starting to, want to get a little look at them.
And now this weekend is your first road trip for your team. Aside from the games, what are you most looking forward to about getting the guys off campus and on the road?
Well, I mean, I think getting back to playing a pretty simple game. I think, we're best when we're playing simple hockey, and so I think when you go on the road, if you're going to be successful, you got to play simple. So hopefully this helps us get into our game a little bit more. I think our lineup might be a little short of some guys, and that's going to accelerate the growth of some of our younger guys too. So going into these environments will be good for us.
Coach, you talk about those tough environments. You're on the road against St. Lawrence, who you've played a couple times over the last few years. Clarkson, who you're quite familiar with. You've played on the road in the NCAA tournament. What does your team have to do to be successful this weekend?
Well, keep it simple. Our power play's got to get going. I think we have, I think our goaltending's solid, which is good. But we have to make sure that we're playing good team defense and we're managing the game well. I mean, we're just, the games this weekend, we just wouldn't manage a game well. There's going to be times where we just have to chip it in, and there's going to be times that we should shoot the puck a heck of a lot more. So kind of getting back to our game and managing a game well. And if we can manage the games well, I like this team.
All right, Coach. Thank you so much. Good luck this weekend.
Okay, thanks.
I'm Luke Johnson. I'm from Edina, Minnesota, and I'll be a freshman here in the fall at PC. My great-grandma used to make the best cookies, and every time we went to the farm where she lived, we had those, and yeah, that's the best. I wanted to wear this one going into juniors, but my captain my first year wore it, so obviously I couldn't wear it, but came here and it was open, so I was really excited to wear it. Goodwill Hunting. I've seen it a couple times before, but we have a lot of mass guys, so they made me watch it again. Being from Minnesota, I watched Marion Gabrick. He was an unreal player and just electric to watch, and he was a lot of fun to grow up watching. So, fishing and wake surfing, just getting out on the lake. I just can't wait to play for PC, this atmosphere, this program. It's been a long time coming, waiting to play here, and now we're finally here.
To get you ready for this weekend's matchups against St. Lawrence and Clarkson, we're joined now by Mike DeMars. Mike, what do you got?
Thanks, Nick. On Friday, the Friars head to upstate New York to take on St. Lawrence University before heading 10 miles up Route 11 on Saturday to skate against Clarkson. St. Lawrence is 1-1 on the season, having split with Mercyhurst last weekend. The Saints return their second leading scorer from last season, Zach Risto. The Minnesota native recorded 18 points in his first season with the Saints and has already notched 4 points in his first 2 games this year. Clarkson is currently ranked number 10 in the USCHO.com poll. The Golden Knights returned 6 players who scored 20 or more points last season, including Harold Eagle, who tallied 19 goals and 21 assists, good for 40 points. They started their season at Michigan and came away with a win and a tie. Josh Dunn is the top scorer for Clarkson so far, netting 1 goal and picking up 2 assists. Hailing from the Show Me State, Dunn has 2 older sisters, Jessica and Jinsey, that have played at the collegiate level. The former having finished her career at Ohio State, and the latter captaining the Buckeyes women's hockey team this season. The Friars have won 3 of their last 4 games against St. Lawrence, but only have a win and a tie in their last 7 contests against Clarkson. That's your weekend preview. Sending it back to you, Nick.
Thanks, Mike. That'll just about wrap up today's edition of the show. A big thank you, as always, to our guest, Coach Leaman, for joining us. Friday and Saturday night's games can both be watched online on ESPN+. As always, you can always listen to it on the radio as well on 104.7 FM and on the TuneIn Radio app. If you haven't done so already, follow the team on social media. They're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for all the post pictures, highlights, updates, and more. That'll do it for today's edition of This Week in Friars Hockey. We'll see you next time. Have a great day.